Thanks for tuning in. Alright, so hi, my name's Erin. This is my first podcast episode 1. I don't know what I'm going to call it as of right now, but we'll see. So right now I'm driving up to San Marcos, Texas, taking a back road. It's really nice. It's 6:16 in the morning. Sun isn't out yet. I'm enjoying this Texas hill country-ish winding road with the trees, and you can kind of see the clouds. It's really nice. So I'm enjoying it, and I thought now might be a good time to record a podcast. So here we are. I think I'm gonna talk about focus, but really my goal of this podcast is to connect with people who are attracting the content I'm creating, what I'm putting out there, and also I'd really love to brighten your day, so maybe make your day a little bit better, because that's just such a nice thing to experience, and I love it. So here we go. So I'm just gonna talk about my life, this. That's what this podcast is about, not in a drama kind of way, but more so in my experiences and what I've learned from them and things that I've tried and that maybe you could try too if they resonate with you. So I am going to talk about focus today. This is kind of a topic that has really been on my mind. That's something I've really been focusing on lately. And I have heard about the idea of focus. I mean, I'm sure we've all heard about the idea of focus, and I hear a lot about it in different development and personal growth kind of things. So I heard about it a lot in Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. He talks a lot about that's our greatest power is our will to be able to focus on whatever we choose. No matter what situation we're in, we get to choose what we focus on. And also one of my mentors, Jesse Elder, talks about that too. He talks about focus and just really choosing what you focus on and focusing on what you want in life, and using that to help build the reality that you want. So I've been focusing on focus, and I'll just share a little bit of thoughts I have on it and experiences I've had with this and how I see it affecting my life. And I think it's really cool. It's such a simple thing, and at the same time it's really powerful, at least in the way I've experienced it. So one thing I think I've thought about and I think is interesting is you can only focus on one thing at a time. They've even studied this, your brain, you can't think about two things at once, really. You can think about a lot of things at once, but you can only focus on one thing at a time. And you can go back and forth, but you can't focus on it all at once. It's if you try to read something, you can't really read two things at once. You can see the other words, they're there on the page, but all you're focusing on is what you're reading. So I was at this concert and I started to really think about this, and I love music, and I love live music, and I love playing music. So whenever I go to a concert, if I can be up close to the band, I really like it, because I can actually watch them playing and be what chords are they playing? I will also just tune out and dance and enjoy it, but at the same time it's really cool for me to watch them play, or really listen to them sing and watch them sing and see what they're doing. So I was just paying attention to that, and I was noticing okay, I can only really focus on one instrument at a time, or one singer, or one element at a time, or if I want to tune out, not really tune out, but tune in and dance, or just adjust and dance. I can't like dance in the same time as I want to see what chords the guitar player is playing, or how they're strumming it or picking it or whatever. So I decided, like, okay, I was thinking to myself, okay, so like, what do I want? Like, I was like, I have to pick something, but what do I want? Like, I like the piano, but I don't really like want to focus in on the piano. I'm not so interested in that. The guitar is cool too, like that's fun to watch, but like what I really wanted was like to focus on the singing and the harmonizing and stuff like that. So I just like decided, like, okay, that's what I want, and that's like because I want to get better at singing. So I said, okay, I'm going to focus on that, and I focused on that, and that just became like my field of view. It was like the singing and the notes that they were singing and how they're singing in their mouth and the lyrics and stuff like that. So it was just interesting. So I said, okay, like I can use this everywhere in my life. Like there's it's a hypothesis, I guess, theory, I don't know, but this idea really that what you focus on and what you appreciate in life grows and appreciates. My Jesse Elder, I'll probably mention him a lot. Like, he's a huge influence in my life. Like, Jesse Elder says, like, what you appreciate appreciates. So with anything, and also like if you're into law of attraction stuff, like Abraham Hicks talks about, like, you know, whatever you're giving your attention to is going to grow in your life. Like, that's the law of attraction. It's going to bring you more of that, whatever it is, whether you like what you're thinking about, whether you like what you're focusing on or you don't, it's going to show up more. It's like when you want a new car, like, you're going to start seeing that car everywhere. Like, I'm not going to say you're going to, but it's happened to me a lot, and I've heard other people it happens to. And it's just, maybe, like, there's not more cars, maybe there is more cars, I don't know. Like, maybe you're just drawn to them subconsciously more, or I don't know. Like, it's just funny how that works. We can, like, try to say why, but all I know is that I start seeing more of something when I start thinking about it and noticing it more, so, and putting more energy into it. So I have just been, like, really putting energy into focusing on what I want. So anytime, and this is what I do, so like a practice. So I was like walking home. Louise and I took a trip to Austin, and we went to go watch the bats on South Congress Bridge, or Congress Bridge. We saw the bats, like, leaving, and it was like 10 at night, and I had ridden the bus there. There was this, like, it was an interesting experience on the bus, and I was like, I don't know if I really want to ride the bus again. That was kind of weird. So I said, okay, let's just walk home. And it was like an hour walk home. It was like 3 miles. But I walk all the time. So, and I really enjoy walking. So I was like, you know what? Let's do it. Like, worst case scenario, I get on the bus, or I get an Uber. I'm not going to do that, but it's like a really short distance, so let's just walk it. And, you know, it was at night, so it can be like a little scary, and it was just me and Louise, but I was like, you know, I feel fine. Like, I know how to pay attention to my surroundings, and I've done this kind of thing like plenty of times, and we'll be good. Like, I felt good about it, basically. So we're walking, and we're going, like, it was nice. We got to go through these really pretty neighborhoods with nice sidewalks, and we ran into, like, a little toad just hanging out on the road. He let me, like, take some pictures of him. It was really nice. And then I started, like, these thoughts started popping in my head, like, these horrible thoughts of, like, what if, like, a crazy person comes and, like, tries to get me or something, like, just, you know, just, like, those crazy thoughts or whatever, like, just scary thoughts. And I was like, what the heck, like, I don't want to focus on that. Like, I don't want to bring that into my mental state. Like, I don't want to be putting out this, like, feeling, this energy, like, into the world. So I just would instead, like, just say, oh, wow, look at that tree. Oh, that tree is so pretty. I love the leaves on that tree. Oh my gosh, look at this tree. Wow. Or I'd like look at the sky. I'd like, the breeze is so nice. And for me, like, nature is super grounding. So I would just focus on the nature, and because that always, like, makes me happy. And that always helps me get to that place of flow state, or whatever you call it. Just like that, my happy place. Like, so I would just focus on that instead, and, like, it was fun. Like, we had a great walk, and it was nice. Like, and I'm not saying, like, oh, just because I would think about that, like, something bad would happen or anything like that. But it wasn't, even if that, like, wasn't the case, like, it's so much more enjoyable to think about the trees than it is to think about, like, all the bad things that could happen. And, like, thinking about it, for me at least, does not make me feel like any better or prepared or safe. Like, if something happens, it's going to happen. I'm going to be there, and I'm going to deal with it when it happens. I'm not going to need to think about it in 100 different ways that aren't even, like, accurate before anything does happen. So regardless of if the law of attraction is true or not, which you can test that out for yourself, maybe I'll make another thing sometime talking about my experience with it, but whether or not that's true, it's just 100 times more enjoyable to focus on things that you want in life and care about in life. You know, like, you can focus on your dreams, or you can focus on your hell. Like, one's gonna make you sleep a lot better at night and make you a much more happier person than the other. And, you know, it's also, like, this idea that I guess I've thought about this, like, so whenever I was younger, I tried, in middle school, I tried to do long jumping, and it turned out not for me. I'm like 5'3", and short people can do long jumping, but I just wasn't, like, very fast either, so, or jumpy, or long jumpy, so it just didn't work out. But I learned something from it, like, when you long jump, you focus on where you want to be, where you want to jump to, and then you run and you just do it, and you put your all in, and then your brain will just figure out the rest. It'll figure out the steps you need, and it'll get you to where you want to go. And it's not like you have to think, oh, I need to put my left foot here, my right foot here. Like, you can envision it, but then when you're actually doing it, you just do it. And then you jump, and you make it. And I feel like that's a really good analogy for life. It's like, when you're going to go for something, you just focus on that. You don't worry about what steps you're going to have to do. You don't worry about the crowd. You don't worry about your opponents or anything when you're competing. Not even competing, but just building the life that you want. And because all of those things are taking away focus from your goal, like your destination. So just focus on what you want, and then just do it and feel it, and just stay focused. Like, it's powerful, and you can try it with anything. It doesn't have to be like your huge, amazing, like, magnificent dream. Like, definitely do it that, but try it. Just prove it to yourself with little things, like I don't know, like finding a good parking spot or something, and just think about how nice it'll be when you find that parking spot or something. Like, that's just what came to my mind. But you can do it with, like, making new friends, having a good time today, anything. All right, I love you all. Thank you for tuning in. Peace out. Bye.